Hokage Saga, Invincible Power by Sacrificing Emotional Intelligence. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 1. Option 1. Sacrifice the soul, receive the blessing of the evil god, and the soul will not die. Option 2. Sacrifice IQ, physical limit strengthening. Option 3. Sacrifice emotional intelligence and break the limiter. What else to choose? Shiraishi did not hesitate in the slightest about the three options that appeared. First, if the soul is sacrificed, then it will not become a lackey of the evil god. The second, without IQ, become an idiot. What is the point of living? And as for emotional intelligence, can this thing be eaten as a meal? As a straight man with steel bars, Shiraishi has long lost the thing of emotional intelligence. Okay. Choice 3. A white light fell on Shiraishi's body. As long as you do something without emotional intelligence, you will get a talent boost, right? Got it. Konoha, Ninja School. Iruka walked into the classroom and coughed dryly. Students, be quiet. Especially you, Naruto. Next, I will introduce you to a new classmate. Iruka waved outside the classroom door. Shiraishi, come in. Shiraishi nodded, walked in, and came to the podium. This is the new student in our class, Shiraishi. Introduce yourself. Shiraishi looked around for a week, thought for a while, and a sentence came to his mind: words without emotional intelligence. I am Aoki Shiraishi. I am HO. Everyone here is rubbish. From today onwards, I will be the boss of this class, so I have no opinion. A prompt sounded in Shiraishi's ears. No EQ event trigger. Talent, plus 13. The corners of Shiraishi's mouth curved slightly. Not bad. The corner of Iruka's mouth twitched. Although Iruka had heard before that Aoki Shiraishi was a problem boy, but Iruka did not expect Shiraishi to have problems to this extent. Say such things as soon as you arrive in class. Are you really not afraid of becoming the public enemy of the class? As Iruka expected, suddenly, the eyes of the whole class looking at Aoki Shiraishi were different. Bastard, what did this guy say? Call us trash? You're trash. It's like how powerful you are. A newcomer, humph, don't know the situation. After class, make you look good. Sasuke's eyes turned cold. Above this class, Sasuke's mentality is the same as Shiraishi's words just now. Sasuke couldn't look at anyone but himself. This is called the pride of being Uchiha. But now Shiraishi has actually divided himself into the scope of garbage. Sasuke couldn't stand it. Even more unbearable, it was Naruto. Tongue and stood up. Naruto pointed at Shiraishi and cursed loudly. Newcomer, who do you say is trash? Do you know who I am? Do you dare to come to the competition? Some students who usually have opinions about Naruto and don't like Naruto also showed expectation in their eyes at this time. Hopefully, Naruto can teach Shiraishi a lesson. Iruka saw the classroom that was about to stir up and quickly looked at Shiraishi. Shiraishi, those 2 sentences you just said were too much. Apologize to the classmates. Classmates will definitely forgive you. Shiraishi glanced at Iruka and shook his head. Why apologize? Am I not telling the truth? These people are really rubbish. A prompt sounded in Shiraishi's ears again. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 9. Shiraishi looked at Naruto, ready to add a fire. You, that's right, it's you, the blonde-haired dwarf. You want to challenge me? You can. Follow me outside to practice. I'll teach you the word garbage, how to write. You. Naruto glared angrily at Shiraishi. Whether it was garbage or dwarf, it seriously irritated Naruto. Iruka-sensei, this is not my intentional trouble. I have to teach this new brat a hard lesson. The whole class wants to see it. Some students raised their hands. That's right, Iruka-sensei, this kid is too arrogant. Let Naruto teach him a lesson. Dare to say that we are all trash. But we are the students you brought out by Iruka-sensei. These words, the olding forced. Sakura, I know. It's all standing up. Even Sasuke stood up. Iruka-sensei, I can't go on in class now. Just promise Naruto, so that this newcomer can recognize our strength. Sasuke didn't like Naruto, but now, even less like Shiraishi. Iruka sighed. It was originally a problem class. A group of problem children. Making trouble, skipping class, pranks, early love. It's all a common thing. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Inuzuka, Shikamaru. None of them are worry-free. Now here comes another white stone. Bigger problems than all students. Iruka only felt his head grow for a moment. It's so hard. Iruka touched his hair, feeling shaky. Iruka looked at Sasuke and nodded. Okay then, now everyone goes to the training ground. It's up to you and Naruto to have a friendship competition. Remember, it's all classmates. Pay attention to proportion. Naruto got excited. Humph, newcomer, I'll beg for mercy later. Don't be too big. Shiraishi glanced at Naruto. Don't worry, you won't even have a chance to beg for mercy later. After a while, a whole class of people came to the training ground. The students formed a circle. Iruka stood in the middle. Naruto stood opposite Shiraishi. Iruka looked at Naruto and then at Shiraishi. Ready? Okay, since that's the case, let's get started. Episode 2. With Iruka's sound began. The next moment, Naruto rushed towards Shiraishi. Shiraishi clasped his hands to his chest, as if he didn't react. A smile appeared at the corner of Naruto's mouth. This can't react. dare to say big things? I'll teach you a good lesson today. Let everyone, Sakura, see, I am the most powerful. Naruto seemed to have thought of the scene where he defeated Shiraishi and got the worship of the whole class. The students outside were also staring closely. Iruka was ready to strike. Why didn't Shiraishi respond? According to the 3 generations of adults, Shiraishi should be very strong. And at this very time, when Naruto's fist was about to touch Shiraishi, Shiraishi suddenly moved. A flash, just to the side. Bang! A hand knife landed precisely on Naruto's neck. Naruto rolled his eyes and fell to the ground. The surroundings became quiet. No one expected that this would be the case. Everyone probably thought that Shiraishi would win. After all, Naruto was a crane tail. But I didn't expect to win so easily. Iruka's pupils also shrank slightly. This speed, so fast. Even some middle ninja don't necessarily have this speed. I don't know how Shiraishi is when it comes to ninjutsu. If it's not bad, then Shiraishi is a genius. Patience can be expected. Shiraishi looked at Naruto on the ground and shook his head. I didn't expect your level to be worse than I expected, Iruka-sensei. I don't think I need to apologize. It proves that they're real rubbish. When these words fell, the students around them suddenly became angry again. A voice sounded in Shiraishi's head. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 16. Iruka was a little embarrassed, neither agreed, nor did he disapprove. A figure jumped out. It's Inazukaya. There was also a small dog next to him. Akamaru. I'm here to compare with you. Naruto is the worst in our class. You beat a Naruto. What is it? You have the ability to defeat me. You? Shiraishi glanced at Inuzuka. With all due respect, I'm afraid you're not as good as this trash. Shiraishi pointed at Naruto. By this time, Naruto had woken up. When he heard this, I don't know why, Naruto actually felt a little happy in his heart. This made Naruto very strange. Why am I being called garbage and I'm still happy? Because the anger was all on Inuzuka's body. Naruto is trash. He is not even as good as Naruto. So what is himself? Less garbage? Abominable. Inuzuka did not ask Iruka for instructions, and anger rushed into Inuzuka's brain. I'm going to beat you. The next moment, bang, Inuzuka fell. Same as Naruto, same posture. Neat. Akamaru saw Inuzuka tooth fall, and quickly blocked in front of Inuzuka tooth, and roared at Shiraishi, very fierce. Shiraishi suddenly lowered his body. Akamaru was so frightened that his whole body trembled, but he persevered and did not leave. Shiraishi squinted and looked at Akamaru for a moment. Can this dog eat it? Akamaru seemed to understand, stood unsteadily, and fell softly to the ground. Iruka hurriedly dissuaded. Shiraishi, this is a ninja's companion, not food. Several girls jumped out. You're going too far. Why do you have such terrible thoughts? That's a ninja. So cute. You would even think about eating it. It's not human. Shiraishi glanced at several girls faintly. What's wrong with a ninja? Saying that, Shiraishi reached out and grabbed Akamaru and turned Akamaru over. Look between Akamaru's legs. It's no different from ordinary dogs. One head, 4 legs, a little tintin. Come, you guys come and see. Please tell me, what is the difference between this and ordinary dogs? A voice sounded in Shiraishi's head. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 7. Shiraishi pointed between Akamaru's legs. Hooligan. Several girls heard Shiraishi's words and immediately turned red when they saw the scene. Indecent. 2 girls jumped out. Let's compete with you. What is it to bully a puppy? Shiraishi looked at the 2 girls. Are you better than these 2 on the ground? If not, then don't come and waste my time, but if you give money, I will think about it. Humph. Of course we are more powerful. These 2 are the tail of the crane in the class. Oh, come on then. Shiraishi pointed to one of the girls. The one with the big forehead, just you. Big forehead? The corners of Sakura's mouth twitched suddenly. This is the word Sakura hates the most, because Sakura's flaw, right here, her forehead is much wider than ordinary girls. This once made Sakura feel inferior. I'm going to kill you. Sakura angrily threw herself at Shiraishi, but, bang, the result is the same as Naruto and Inazukaya. With one blow, he was knocked down by Shiraishi. He fell to the ground in exactly the same posture as the previous 2. Neat. Everyone gasped. Looking at Shiraishi, there was a hint of jealousy in his eyes. This is a ruthless character. Treat girls so unkindly. Terrible. Yamanaka Ino subconsciously retreated. Episode 3. It's not stronger at all, the same garbage. Shiraishi shook his head, revealing a somewhat regretful expression. I'm so disappointed in you. Strength garbage is not to be mentioned. At a young age, he actually learned to lie. This quality education is not enough. Iruka was embarrassed. The students originally had a lot of jealousy of Shiraishi, but after these few words, the students' emotions turned to anger again. However, because Naruto, Inazukaya, Sakura, and Suzudama are in front, they didn't dare to challenge Shiraishi anymore. Therefore, all eyes are focused on one person. Sasuke Uchiha, currently recognized as the strongest in this class. The genius of the Uchiha family. Orphan. Not only strong, but also very handsome. Therefore, it is not okay to be jealous of Naruto. Only then did Sasuke slowly walk out of the crowd. Put your hands in your trouser pockets. Chest. The chin is slightly raised. A forced king breath slowly overflowed. I'll try it with you. Aoki Shiraishi, remember my name, Sasuke Uchiha, because later, you will lose at the hands of this name. Shiraishi shook his head. Young and gentle, actually learn to pretend? Sasuke posed. Aoki Shiraishi, come on. Shiraishi raised his eyebrows. Are you sure I'll come first? That's right, because once I make a move, you won't have a chance to strike. Well, as you wish. Shiraishi shrugged. Then I'll come. Shiraishi's figure flashed suddenly. So fast. Sasuke's pupil shrank, and he subconsciously regretted it. Shiraishi's speed was unclear. This means that when you wait for yourself, you will probably not be able to dodge Shiraishi's attack. Abominable. I didn't expect that the speed that Shiraishi showed before was not his limit. Must be blocked. I must not lose. Shiraishi came to Sasuke's side. Here it is. Sasuke looked at Shiraishi, but it's late. Shiraishi's hand knife has fallen. Bang. Sasuke only felt his body go limp, and he fell involuntarily. Shiraishi pouted slightly. That's it? A voice sounded in Shiraishi's head. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 11. A thick shame was born from Sasuke's heart. It was a shame that Sasuke had never encountered before. In front of so many people, in front of everyone, he was actually defeated with one blow. Moreover, to fight Naruto, Inuzuka, Sakura, and fall on the ground and eat. Disgrace. Sasuke was embarrassed. However, there is nothing that can be done. The body is already out of control. Bang. Sasuke fell to the ground. The posture is the same as Naruto's 3, but the location is far away. This is not tidy. Shiraishi looked a little uncomfortable and dragged Sasuke, who had fallen to the ground, over and next to Sakura. Good, this time it's neat. Neat. Naruto was upset. Originally Sakura fell next to Naruto. That made Naruto happy. It doesn't matter what time it is, but just seeing Sakura, Naruto is happy. But now that there was one more Sasuke, Naruto was suddenly upset. But Naruto was upset, and Sakura was happy. He had just come to his senses, and as soon as he turned his head, he saw Sasuke. So handsome. Sakura completely forgot what it was like. Iruka was stunned. Before meeting Shiraishi, Iruka heard rumors about Shiraishi. Father is a middle shinobi. I researched a set of training methods and didn't let Shiraishi go to ninja school. But some time ago, Shiraishi's father went out on a mission and hung up. Therefore, Shiraishi had to come to the ninja school as a transfer student. The information Iruka heard was that Shiraishi was talented and strong, but he was a little strange in terms of personality, and he was a troubled teenager, and he had to be guided well. But Iruka didn't expect Shiraishi to be so strong. Even Sasuke Uchiha was defeated in one move, or physical skills. No other tricks were used. How is this more than strong? Peers like this, is it too strong to be good? Iruka looked at Shiraishi with a somewhat complicated look in his eyes. Good talent is really good, strong strength is really strong, but this character is really a big problem. Iruka thought back to Shiraishi's performance, and his head grew for a while. When I came to the class, I made such a thing. How else to get along with your classmates? Okay. Iruka coughed dryly and said, this is the end of the competition. I believe everyone has a deeper understanding of Shiraishi-san. Go back to the classroom. This morning's lesson is an exercise in transfiguration. You don't need to be outside. Shiraishi, let's go. Iruka patted Shiraishi's shoulder. The students followed Iruka. After Iruka and the others had walked for a while, the 4 Naruto on the ground got up. Naruto's eyes flickered, revealing fighting spirit. That guy, that's awesome. I decided, from today, Shiraishi is my new goal. Naruto glanced at Sasuke next to him. Sasuke, you have been removed from my target. Sasuke snorted coldly, his face gloomy. Quickly walked to the classroom. Sasuke, wait for me. Sakura quickly followed. Inuzuka picked up Akamaru and placed it on his shoulder. That bastard actually wants to eat Akamaru. Humph, next time, I will definitely defeat him. 4 people entered the classroom. The students' gaze came over. Naruto and Inuzuka are nothing. The 2 of them have experienced a lot of such a sight before. Sakura was also slightly better, but she was very angry in her heart. Only Sasuke, very uncomfortable. Sasuke felt those sights burn like flames on his body. Episode 4. It's weird. It is clear that before that, everyone was still on the same front, sharing the same hatred. All stand on the opposite side of Shiraishi. But now, these people don't seem to have as strong resistance to Shiraishi as before. Instead, he questioned Sasuke. Is Sasuke really a genius? Being defeated by Shiraishi in one blow is not a genius. Yes, it's no different from the rest of us. Naruto was defeated by one blow, and so was Sasuke, so, these 2 are actually about the same. Sasuke gritted his teeth angrily. Am I about the same as Naruto? Is it good that the difference is far away? Another question was raised. Why are we so bad? Any transfer student, it's all so powerful. Wait, I see. This must be the teacher didn't teach it. It can't be that we are all so bad, that's why the teacher is. On the podium, Iruka felt the student's gaze, and the corners of his mouth twitched suddenly. It was as if a thick malice was felt. It's okay, it's good that there is only 1 year left. In a year, most of the students in this class will graduate and leave. Iruka covered his heart. The heart is so tired. Today's lesson is a transfiguration exercise. Let me first talk about the process and skills of transformation, as well as the problems that may be encountered in the process of use. After that, everyone practiced freely. Before the end of class, go to the stage for assessment in turn. Soon, Iruka finished speaking and stopped. Let's practice on your own. Shiraishi sat in the back seat. His gaze looked around and stopped at Sakura next to him, classmate with a big forehead. Sakura suddenly had a bruise on her forehead. Humph, coldly snorted and ignored Shiraishi. Teach me transfiguration. This time, Sakura turned around and stared at Shiraishi, a little surprised. You won't transfiguration? Of course, I have only studied physical arts, chakra extraction, and control before. Hearing this, Sakura remembered Shiraishi's identity as a transfer student. Sakura's eyes flickered. I can teach you the transfiguration technique. But you have to promise me a condition that you are not allowed to call me a classmate with a big forehead. Why? You just have a big forehead, don't you? Sakura covered her heart, hurting, and felt like she had received a 10,000-point critical hit. No matter, that's my condition. Sakura glared at Shiraishi viciously. Okay, big forehead, I promised. No EQ event trigger, talent +3. You're still coming? Sakura wanted to jump up angrily, but in the end, Sakura still told Shiraishi all the points and processes of the transformation technique. What Iruka said before, the focus is different. It is for students who have already learned the art of transformation. And for people like Shiraishi who have not learned, there are fewer details. And now Sakura, these details are made up. Sakura's chin raised slightly. Transfiguration is not something that is so easy to learn. You let me teach you. You are the right person. In this class, my grades are at the top. Shiraishi closed his eyes. A tree appeared in Shiraishi's mind. Talent tree. A total of 3 things are lit. Physical skills, 100. Chakra extraction, 100. Chakra control, 100. There is also a line of numbers next to it, which are the remaining talent points. 467. Shiraishi's thoughts moved. The next moment, the transfiguration was lit. Transfiguration, 100. Shiraishi opened his eyes. I recalled everything Sakura had said and what Iruka had said about transfiguration. Ceiling. Transfiguration. Sakura was still saying, the first transformation technique will definitely not be successful, even if it is me. I have practiced for a long time, maybe only Sasuke will learn it once. It's okay if you fail. And at this time, Shiraishi's transformation technique was completed. Shiraishi took the form of Iruka. Same. There is hardly any difference. Iruka-sensei? Sakura looked at the person in front of her and was stunned for a moment. No, you're Shiraishi. Your transfiguration was successful? Shiraishi's thoughts moved, cancelled the transformation effect, and changed back to his own appearance. It worked out once. Sakura showed a surprised expression, and a hint of jealousy. Suddenly, Sakura thought of something. Wait, Shiraishi, you learned it before, right? You did it on purpose, pretending not to, lying to me. For fun, you're waiting to see my jokes, aren't you? Of course not. Shiraishi shook his head and said, why should I take fun of deceiving you? First, you are so weak. Second, you are not beautiful, and your forehead is still so big. Lying to you is completely unhappy. An invisible feather arrow seemed to shoot into Sakura's heart. No EQ event trigger, talent +3. Sakura's face turned extremely dark. Shiraishi continued, this ninjutsu is very simple. You can't learn it after listening to it. It's all rookie chicken. Big forehead classmate, don't tell me. You didn't learn it when you listened to it once, right? No way. No EQ event trigger, talent +4. The corners of Sakura's mouth twitched suddenly. Dang, of course, learned. Sakura said with a clear conscience. Iruka also noticed the situation on this side. Descend from the podium and walk towards Shiraishi. Shiraishi, Sakura, what's wrong? Iruka-sensei, it's nothing, because I haven't learned transfiguration before, so I asked the big forehead classmate to talk to me again, and now it's okay. Iruka realized that Shiraishi's learning progress, as well as the direction of study, was different from the other students in the class. Episode 5. Shiraishi, that's right, my situation, I only know a little roughly. Can you tell me what ninja-related things you have learned now? Physical art, chakra extraction, and control. Gone? It's gone. Then you really learned the transfiguration technique in just one pass? Shiraishi looked at Iruka suspiciously. Iruka-sensei, isn't it a great thing to learn the transfiguration technique all over again? It's very simple. It's the problem that you can't learn it once. The corner of Iruka's mouth twitched, and he recalled the scene when he was learning transfiguration, and fell into autism. Shiraishi, come with me. Good. Iruka took Shiraishi to the previous training ground. I'll tell you about the doppelganger now. Iruka-sensei, say it. Soon, Iruka explained the process of the doppelganger. Shiraishi closed his eyes. Talent plus points. Doppelganger, 100. Talent points remaining, 276. Shiraishi, you try. Good. The next moment, Shiraishi is the seal. Doppelganger. A doppelganger exactly like Shiraishi appeared next to Shiraishi. Doppelganger, success. Iruka's eyes widened. Did it really work? But Iruka still had some doubts, wondering if Shiraishi had studied before. Then I'll teach you the avatar technique. Like transfiguration and doppelganger, Shiraishi learned it all over again. After the talent points are increased to 100, it is the talent limit of ordinary ninjas. Learn it all over again, and it's not a problem at all. Iruka was a little puzzled. Transfiguration, doppelganger, stand-in. Listen once and learn, master. It's terrible. Irika had never seen anyone like this. I wonder if a genius like Kakashi-senpai can do it. Irika was a little distracted. Irika-sensei? Hearing Shiraishi's voice, Irika came back to his senses. Shiraishi, I'll teach you another technique. Irika wanted to test again. Even now, Irika couldn't fully believe that Shiraishi had really learned it after listening to it once. What technique? An illusion technique called Narukami no Jutsu. Irika explained the steps, processes, and details of Narukami's art to Shiraishi. Shiraishi, try, good. Shiraishi closed his eyes and first increased the talent points of Narukami no Jutsu to 100. Afterwards, ceiling, Narukami no Jutsu. Irika suddenly felt the scene in front of him change suddenly. An unfamiliar picture appeared in his line of sight. A thick fear enveloped Irika. Naruku no Jutsu let the target see the most fearful picture in his heart. Ugh! Irika exclaimed and returned to the real world. Just now, Irika saw the white stone in front of him and immediately understood. Just now, it was Shiraishi who used Narukami no Jutsu on himself. Shiraishi learned the art of Narukami, and more importantly, he actually fell into Shiraishi's Narukami technique, and he hadn't noticed it yet. As a teacher, he actually fell into the illusion of his students. This student has just learned from himself. What does this mean? Is the other party a genius? Or is he a rookie? Irika had mixed feelings. Shiraishi, I didn't make any special moves just now, did I? Nope. Shiraishi shook his head and said, just now, Irika-sensei, you just opened your teeth and claws, shouted madly, as if you were frightened, and didn't do anything special else. Irika's expression became embarrassed, quickly looked around. After making sure there was no one, he breathed a sigh of relief. The scene just now was too humiliating. If it is seen by others, it will be even more humiliating. Shiraishi. Irika looked at Shiraishi with a complicated expression. You're such a genius, let's go back first. Irika didn't want to experiment anymore. The two returned to the classroom. Sakura hurriedly came over. Shiraishi, Irika-sensei, what did you tell you? Doppelganger, avatar, Narukami no Jutsu. Sakura looked at Irika again. Could it be that you have learned all these ninjutsu and illusion arts? Shouldn't I learn such a simple thing? Shiraishi glanced at Sakura. Classmate with a big forehead, didn't you say before that you also learned the transformation technique after listening to it once? Don't you know the avatar technique, and the Narukami technique? Doppelganger and avatar technique. Narukami no technique, the teacher did not teach. Not taught? Shiraishi hesitated. You taught me the transfiguration technique just now, so I'll teach you the Narukami technique in return. Sakura hesitated, but Shiraishi has already begun to speak. Soon, the steps and processes of Narukumi's technique. Richard said it again. It's simple, have you learned? Sakura, who can learn this? Use it to show me, and let that classmate be the target. Shiraishi pointed at Naruto. Sakura quickly winked at Naruto, but Naruto couldn't understand it at all. Ran over excitedly. Sakura, is there anything you need my help with? Shiraishi said, I just taught Sakura Narami no Jutsu, and I need a spell casting target. I think you are quite suitable. It wasn't Sakura's choice. Naruto was a little disappointed. Why did you choose me? Episode 6. Because, I can see in your eyes, for her, you are willing to do anything, right? Hearing this, Naruto's eyes lit up for a moment. Looking at Shiraishi again, he suddenly revealed the expression of looking at his confidant. For the previous loss to Shiraishi, he was scolded as garbage by Shiraishi again, as if he had completely forgotten. Shiraishi, you understand me? Sakura quickly stepped back and looked at Naruto, very disgusted. That's right, I'm willing to do anything for Sakura's sake. Sakura took another step back. I think the current Naruto is too terrible. Sakura, come on. Naruto's face showed a death-defying expression, but there was no fear, but some excitement and anticipation. I haven't learned it yet. Sakura quickly turned to Shiraishi. Shiraishi-san, let Naruto go back. You didn't even learn it? Shiraishi couldn't help but show a surprised expression. Yes. Sakura bowed her head. I told you before, I only listened once, and the thing that I learned the transformation technique is also fake. Shiraishi shook his head and said, classmate with a big forehead, I'm so disappointed in you. I didn't expect you to be not only a rookie, but also a liar. No EQ event trigger, talent +6. I'm sorry. Sakura's head was lower. No need to say sorry to me, you didn't feel sorry for me, you were sorry for yourself. Understandable, though. Shiraishi said, the rookies are not strong in anything else, but the vanity is excessive. Sakura silently returned to her seat. Naruto didn't leave. Shiraishi, how did you see my thoughts on Sakura? I've seen this kind of dog-licking eyes. Lick the dog? Naruto was stunned for a moment. What is that? Shiraishi looked around, and then looked at Inuzuka. Not Inuzukaya, but Inuzukaya lying on his shoulder. Akamaru. Wait and see. Shiraishi walked over to Inuzuka. Inuzuka became alarmed. Shiraishi, what do you want to do? Akamaru was equally wary, hunched over and looked at Shiraishi, grinning. Shiraishi hesitated and pulled out a piece of jerky from his pocket. Eat. Akamaru smelled the meat and suddenly became hesitant. On the one hand, Akamaru is very jealous and wary of Shiraishi, On the other hand, the jerky is really fragrant. Inuzuka was a little puzzled. Shiraishi, what exactly do you want to do? After all, Akamaru still couldn't resist the temptation of the smell of meat. Sticking out his tongue and licking it, Richard shoved the jerky into Akamaru's mouth. Akamaru immediately chirped and ate it. When the jerky was finished, Akamaru's eyes when he looked at Shiraishi suddenly softened a lot, and there was no hostility at all. Shiraishi held out his hand. Akamaru immediately licked it attentively. See, no, this is licking the dog. Not knowing why, Akamaru felt as if he had been humiliated in some way. Shiraishi withdrew his hand, took the paper out of his pocket, and wiped it. But Naruto didn't understand. It's kind of like that. Naruto himself nodded. Then from today onwards, I will be Sakura's faithful licking dog. Let's compete again. After class, Sasuke found Shiraishi. This time, I will definitely win. Shiraishi looked at Sasuke in front of him. Why should I compare myself to you? Are you afraid? Afraid? Shiraishi glanced at Sasuke with disdain and said, are you afraid of rookie chickens on the side of the road? Who do you say is a rookie? Sasuke was furious. Isn't the person who can't even stop me a move? Shiraishi said, however, it is not impossible for you to ask me to accompany you to a competition. What conditions do you want? I want a challenge fee, a challenge, 10,000 taels. Yes, here you go. Sasuke immediately took out 10,000 taels from his wallet. The Uchiha family is gone, but Sasuke still inherited a lot of inheritance. Compared to Shiraishi, he is a rich man. Come on, good. The students gathered around. Even during the day today, Sasuke had already lost to Shiraishi. However, the previous students recognized that Sasuke was the strongest in his age. During the day, many people will think that it is not a mistake. Begin, Sasuke posed. The next moment, Shiraishi's figure flashed. Bang, a hand knife fell. Sasuke snorted, and felt that his body could not maintain his balance, and his figure involuntarily fell to the ground, almost exactly the same as during the day. And the posture is equally ugly. Like a dog, he fell to the ground. Do you realize you're a rookie now? Sasuke gritted his teeth and didn't want to speak. Shiraishi shrugged and walked outside. Shiraishi left the ninja school. But the news about Shiraishi broke out in the ninja school. A transfer student, as soon as he came, defeated Sasuke Uchiha, who was the first in his grade, and it only took one blow. The students were shocked. After all, even Iruka was shocked. Immediately after class, Iruka came to Hokage's office. Naruto-sama, it's Iruka, what's the matter? Sarutobi glanced up at Iruka. It's Shiraishi. Shiraishi got into trouble? It's not. Episode 7. Iruka, you have to worry a little more. After all, Shiraishi has never entered a ninja school before, and his personality is indeed a little strange compared to other students. But Shiraishi's talent is good. If it is cultivated well, it will definitely become the backbone of Konoha in the future. Iruka interrupted the ape flying Sunchop. Naruto-sama, that's not what I want to say. Shiraishi's personality is indeed a little strange, but above my class, the number of problem students in itself is not a few. Naruto, Inuzukaya, Shikamaru, Dingji. All of them are not worry-free. I came this time to say something else. Shiraishi's talent is too strong. Ape Fairy frowned. Shiraishi's talent is indeed good, but didn't I explain this to you? Naruto-sama, not just good, but very, very good. Iruka recalled the daytime and said, before entering the ninja school, Shiraishi only learned physical arts, chakra extraction, and chakra control. Today, I talked about transfiguration in class. Because it's not the first time I've talked about it, so I only talked about part of it, and Shiraishi asked Sakura next to him for details of the transformation technique. But I didn't expect that Sakura just talked about it once, and Shiraishi learned it. Ape Fairy showed a suspicious expression. At first, I didn't believe it. I thought Shiraishi learned it before. Children, they all have some vanity, understandable, so I took Shiraishi to the training ground. As a result, not only the transformation technique, the avatar technique, and even the Narukami technique, Shiraishi has learned all of them by listening to it once, and Shiraishi's Narukami technique is even better than what I used. Sarutobi frowned. Iruka, what you said is true. That's true. Ape Flying Sun was silent for a moment. Continue to observe first. The higher Shiraishi's talent, the better it is for Konoha. After all, he is our Konoha's person, but don't tell others about this news. Yes, Naruto-sama. However, secrecy cannot be kept secret. School students, so many. Shiraishi stood at the crossroads. To the left is the street of the yakiniku restaurant. To the right is the street of the ramen shop. Shiraishi hesitated. Forget it, let's eat ramen. Shiraishi walked into the ramen shop. A sound of footsteps sounded in the back. Shiraishi glanced back. It was Naruto. Shiraishi, you're here to eat ramen too. Shiraishi nodded, sat down in his seat, and said, Boss, let's have a tonkatsu ramen and add meat. Okay, right away. Naruto raised his hand. Boss, I also want a tonkatsu ramen. Naruto sat down next to Shiraishi. Shiraishi, I didn't expect you to like ramen too. Uncle Ichiraku's ramen, in the whole of Konoha, is a must. I come here almost every day. Shiraishi glanced at Naruto. You came here not because the ramen is delicious, but because you are poor. Naruto. Naruto felt as if he had been stabbed in the heart. Shiraishi, you are really powerful, so easily defeated that smelly fart Sasuke. Naruto changed the subject. I know, Naruto. Naruto thought it was so difficult. It's hard to chat with Shiraishi. Originally, Naruto thought that he was already a problem child among problem children. Naruto wanted to attract the attention of others, to be taken seriously. So I keep doing all kinds of grandstanding things. But now, face Shiraishi. Naruto couldn't think of why Shiraishi spoke like that. Don't you know how to write the euphemism? Ramen is coming. Ichiraku's voice broke Naruto's embarrassment. Shiraishi began to eat noodles. I'm done eating. Shiraishi paid and walked out of the ramen shop. Ichiraku came to Naruto's side. Yo, Naruto, was that your new friend just now? Sort of. Night. Shiraishi closed his eyes. A tree appeared in Shiraishi's mind. Physical skills, 100. Chakra extraction, 100. Chakra control, 100. Doppelganger, 100. Avatar, 100. Transfiguration, 100. Narukami no Jutsu, 100. Talent points remaining, 103. The next day, Shiraishi walked into the classroom. The expressions of the students in the classroom looking at Shiraishi were different. At first, the students were unconvinced by Shiraishi, because Shiraishi's declaration is too hateful. It would be too much to say that everyone here is rubbish. However, Shiraishi later proved that they really couldn't. People's tolerance for the strong tends to be higher. Just like Sasuke before him. Shiraishi, on the other hand, is far stronger than Sasuke. Shiraishi, good morning. Big forehead, good morning. Shiraishi sat down next to Sakura. Irika walked into the classroom. Dear students, this year is already your last semester. Next month, it will be the graduation exam, and the students who pass the exam will become a subordinate, and those who fail to pass the exam will repeat their grades. I hope everyone can achieve good results. Today, I plan to conduct a comprehensive test for everyone. Because the exam questions haven't come down yet, I don't know. Then, let's start with the most basic physical skills. Physical arts, shuriken, transfiguration, avatars, doppelganger. Hearing this, Sasuke couldn't help but look at Shiraishi. There is a strong fighting spirit in the eyes. Episode 8. Sasuke's idea was simple. Twice lost at the hands of Shiraishi, Sasuke figured it out. It's all physical skills. Shiraishi's speed and strength are stronger than Sasuke's. Sasuke believes that Shiraishi must have spent all his time on physical skills before. How cunning. And for ninjutsu, shuriken, Sasuke felt that he was definitely stronger than Shiraishi. This quiz, I definitely want to beat you. Sasuke clenched his fists. In the past, when the students in the class talked about geniuses and strong people, they all looked at Sasuke. But now it has become Shiraishi. This hit Sasuke's self-esteem greatly. Training ground. Irika coughed dryly. Students, be quiet. Let's start testing. The first project is transfiguration. Classmates who read their names, step forward. The first one, Naruto. Naruto's chest straightened. If there are so many courses in the ninja school, Naruto has confidence in which one it is. It is the transformation technique. Naruto's research on the transformation technique is really perfect. At a young age, he had already developed derivative ninjutsu on the basis of transformation. Even Dadamu Kagaya couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Wait. Naruto excited. Great. Irika shook his head. Naruto, if your avatar and doppelganger can be like transformation, I don't have to worry about it. Naruto froze. The second, Sasuke. Sasuke stepped forward. Wait. After returning to the crowd, Sasuke clasped his hands to his chest and stared at Shiraishi. The sixth, Shiraishi. Shiraishi stepped forward. Wait. There are no surprises. Sasuke's eyes flickered, but he didn't expect that Shiraishi had a good grasp of ninjutsu. Before, Sasuke guessed that Shiraishi would not be able to ninjutsu. Haha, Shiraishi, you are the same as me, and now I am as powerful as you. Naruto was excited, feeling that he had really caught up with Shiraishi. Shiraishi glanced at Naruto lightly. Naruto, you misunderstood something. What? Some people get an A because they work hard and do well. But some people get an A because they only have an A, understand? Naruto didn't understand. What do you mean? To put it simply, Naruto, you got the evaluation of a rank because of your transformation technique, which is a class. Shiraishi pointed to himself. And I got an A grade because there is no higher score in Irika-sensei. And if I really evaluate, I should be S grade. S, that's right, much more than A. Naruto subconsciously looked at Irika. Irika coughed dryly. Naruto, Shiraishi's transformation technique is indeed better than yours. Naruto's talent for transformation is indeed good. However, Shiraishi is higher. Irika-sensei. At this time, Sasuke suddenly raised his hand. Irika-sensei, since this is the case, then let's add an S-grade assessment to give us a higher goal. And let us work harder in the next month. That's a good thing. The girl next to her quickly agreed. Irika hesitated. Okay, then add one. Shiraishi-san, the transformation technique rating is S-class. Naruto quickly asked. What about Irika-sensei? What about me? Naruto, you're still A rank. Huh? Naruto's face collapsed for a moment. Irika-sensei, I should be S. Wait. Sasuke stepped forward. Irika looked at Sasuke and shook her head. It's not. Impossible. Sasuke's face turned pale. The reason why Sasuke proposed adding an S rating was because Sasuke wanted to distinguish himself from everyone, but now, I can't tell the difference. He also made a wedding dress for Shiraishi. Shiraishi's transformation level is still above me. Iruka suggested heartily, don't compare yourself to Shiraishi. But how is it possible? How could Sasuke not care about Shiraishi, who had taken the name of his genius? And Naruto. On the surface, Naruto didn't show that he cared that much, but Naruto's competitive spirit was stronger than anyone present. A shocked look appeared on Sakura's face. Sakura had already shown such an expression once yesterday. Yesterday, Sakura learned the transfiguration technique because of Shiraishi, and now, it was because Sakura heard that Shiraishi's transformation technique was even better than Iruka's transformation technique. Oh my god, Shiraishi, you just learned the transfiguration technique yesterday. Everyone's gaze quickly looked over. Iruka's heart jumped. Sarutobi asked Iruka to keep it as secret as possible, but now, it is clear that it cannot be saved. You learned it yesterday? What do you mean? Sakura recounted yesterday's events. Everyone's eyes were dull. How is this possible? Lie. Can humans do this level? In the eyes of everyone, there was a thick suspicion. Shiraishi waved his hand. It's just basic operations. It's nothing. Everyone. God's basic operations. Basic operations. Why can't we do it? Now I know why Shiraishi said we were garbage and rookie chickens. Because, that's the truth. Episode 9. But at this time, someone jumped out and questioned. A passerby. Why is it a passerby? Because the plot characters can't be so simple and wasted, unlike passersby, who can be created casually. Koji Takahashi, I don't believe it. It must be that you learned the transformation technique before, you just pretended not to know, and deliberately deceived yesterday to make everyone think that you are a genius. This is your strategy. When these words fell, many students suddenly showed skeptical eyes. Shiraishi glanced at Koji Takahashi. Do I need you trash to recognize me? To me, you are just like ants on the side of the road, no different. Shiraishi looked at Naruto. Naruto, will you get the ants on the side of the road to identify with you? Naruto subconsciously shook his head. You see, such a simple truth, even Naruto understands it, but you don't. Naruto felt that something was wrong. Inexplicably, he seemed to have become some kind of unit of measurement. Only the weak are accustomed to questioning and denying. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 21. Shiraishi turned to Iruka and said, Iruka-sensei, go ahead. Good. Iruka was in a trance. Next, in a short time, the test of the transformation technique was all completed. Except for Shiraishi, there is no S-class appearance. For the doppelganger test, do you still want to keep the S-grade score? Yes. Sasuke was the first to say. Okay, then we begin. Iruka's first name. Naruto. Naruto stepped forward. Unqualified. There is not even a grading scale, which is directly unqualified. Naruto's face was ugly. Doppelganger is really hard. Next, Sasuke. Wait. Sasuke clenched his fists, a little unwillingly. Still not S-weight? Everyone's gaze, involuntarily, focused on Shiraishi's body again. Even Sasuke didn't reach S. Can Shiraishi arrive? Shiraishi stepped forward. Ceiling. Doppelganger. The next moment, two doppelgangers who were exactly the same as Shiraishi appeared, completely indistinguishable. Even Iruka, S, and so on. Iruka made an assessment. Sasuke's pupils shrank suddenly. A sense of defeat rose in Sasuke's heart. Sasuke comforted himself before. Shiraishi is strong in physical skills, but now it proves. Shiraishi is not only stronger than Sasuke, but also stronger than Sasuke in terms of transformation and doppelganger. Then it is very likely that the stand-in technique, Shuriken, is just as strong as Sasuke. Am I really a genius? Sasuke clenched his fists, staring dead at Shiraishi. Avatar, Shiraishi, S, etc. Doppelganger, stand-in, transformation. After 3 tests, only Shiraishi got 3 S. The rest of the students, the highest is only A. Among them, Sasuke got 3 A's. Usually, this is a very good result, but compared with Shiraishi's achievements, it looks so down. Next test item, Shuriken. Shiraishi raised his hand. Teacher, I haven't learned Shuriken. Haven't learned? Iruka beckoned to Shiraishi. You throw it to me. Good. Shiraishi stepped forward and picked up a shuriken. The opposite side is the target. Throw. After that, no doubt, it fell short. Shiraishi threw a 3-no stick. A look of joy appeared on Sasuke's face. Naruto laughed. Well, even a genius like Shiraishi has aspects that he is not good at. Sakura glanced at Naruto and shook her head. Naruto, you are too naive. Shiraishi can learn it just by reading it once. Haven't you experienced the horror of Shiraishi yet? Iruka demonstrated it to Shiraishi. Phew. A sound of breaking through the air sounded. The shuriken hits the bullseye accurately. Shiraishi, do you see clearly? Almost. Shiraishi closed his eyes. A skill tree appeared in Shiraishi's mind. Talent points remaining, 168. Shiraishi's thoughts moved. The next moment, Shuriken, 100. Shiraishi opened his eyes. Iruka-sensei, I can. Okay, let's go ahead. Shiraishi stood in place. Shuriken test, a total of 10. Let's get started. Shiraishi nodded. Phew. A shuriken flew towards the target. Boom. Right in the bullseye. Sakura glanced at Naruto. Look. Naruto's eyes widened. That's awesome. Sasuke's eyes widened as well. Can humans really be genius to this extent? But what Iruka noticed was that Shiraishi was adjusting. This is one of the more terrifying things. The first shuriken, Shiraishi, is a complete imitation of Iruka. But from the second one, Shiraishi was improving. When the 10th was taken, Iruka felt as if he had learned something from it. A pang of bitterness welled up in Iruka's heart. This is genius. Shiraishi, Shuriken, etc. The previous passerby, Koji Takahashi, jumped out again. You see, no, that's the evidence. Shiraishi is just acting, creating his own genius character. It's impossible for someone to just look at it once and hit the bullseye. Sasuke glanced at the man coldly. What Iruka could see, Sasuke also saw a little. Fart, you don't notice at all. Shiraishi has been improving in the process of throwing shuriken just now. Shiraishi raised his eyebrows. I didn't expect you to be able to see it. Yes, I take back what I said to you earlier. You're not rubbish yet. Episode 10. Hearing these words, Sasuke couldn't help but feel a little happy in his heart. This made Sasuke feel weird. Himself is not garbage in the first place. And now happy that Shiraishi said such a thing? Incredible. Humph. Sasuke raised his chin arrogantly. After class, Iruka went to the Hokage's office again. Naruto-sama. Iruka repeated today's events to Sarutobi Hinata, saying, Shiraishi is not only talented in ninjutsu, but also in shuriken. Today Shiraishi is touching shuriken for the first time, but now he has thrown it better than me. Shiraishi, he was simply born for a ninja. After a pause, Iruka said with some embarrassment, Naruto-sama, you asked me to keep this matter secret yesterday, but this matter may no longer be able to be kept secret. Sakura said what Shiraishi had mastered perfectly after only learning the transfiguration technique once. The students know it all. Sarutobi waved his hand. It's not to blame you. Just say it, no matter what. The appearance of such a genius is a good thing for Konoha. Moreover, Shiraishi's background is normal. Shiraishi, a civilian ninja. Shiraishi's personality is eccentric, and it really can't be hidden. Iruka nodded. Shiraishi's personality is indeed very strange. Where there are people who have just entered the class and mock the entire class. Even Sasuke did not do so much when he entered the ninja school. But now, Shiraishi proves that he is indeed far above everyone. So the mockery becomes a fact. Students have begun to embrace Shiraishi's presence. This is the world of ninjas. For the strong, extra tolerant. Ape Flying Sun looked out the window. Now Konoha really needs a genius. The current situation in Konoha belongs to the time when green and yellow are not connected. Orochimaru defected. Tsunade left the village. Jiraiya tracked down Orochimaru. Uchiha Itachi defected. The Uchiha family disappeared. And it has been many years since the death of Wave Feng Shueimon and Gyoshinai. There are only 2 young ninjas who can be considered good, Kakashi and Mat K. Shiraishi, wait for me. Naruto chased after him. Something? Shiraishi, how about we train together? Naruto said, I heard that you are also a person now, so can I train with you? Training with me? Shiraishi glanced at Naruto and said, I'm sorry, I don't train. No training, what do you mean? Naruto was stunned for a moment. Literally. Shiraishi said, whether it is the doppelganger technique, the transformation technique, or anything else, I don't need training at all, and now I have mastered it perfectly. See what I mean? Naruto shook his head. Where will there be no need for training? Isn't getting stronger just by training? After class, Naruto will always practice more. Why can Naruto's transfiguration reach that level? It's not just because Naruto is talented at transformation. All the more because Naruto spent a lot of things on this. This is one of the few ninjutsu that Naruto is good at. Even Sasuke would practice after class. In Naruto's opinion, a genius like Shiraishi would definitely train harder. But now Shiraishi's answer left Naruto at a loss. This is the loneliness of genius. Shiraishi shook his head. Rookies don't understand. No EQ event trigger. Talent +8. Naruto followed again. Naruto didn't believe it. Shiraishi really didn't practice. But after Shiraishi returned home, there really was no training. Sitting in the yard, brewed yourself a cup of tea. Just 1 cup. Didn't give it to Naruto. Leisurely leaning back in the chair. Shiraishi, have you been like this before? That's right. But so, how did you become so strong? Naruto couldn't understand. This was beyond Naruto's perception. Shiraishi took a cookie fragment, and caught an ant from the ground. The ants immediately saw the cookie fragments and excitedly began to carry them. Look at this ant, isn't it very hard? Yes. Shiraishi flicked his fingers and ejected the ants into the air. After that, reach out and deliver the cookie crumbs to the anthill. Got it? Naruto shook his head, dazed. If hard work is useful, what do you need genius to do? Shiraishi said, Naruto, if you want to compare with me, then you are very wrong. You will never be able to reach my level, no matter how hard you try. It is useless. No EQ event trigger. Talent plus 10. Naruto fell silent. Long. I'm not going to give up. Naruto raised his head and said, I am the man who wants to become Hokage, and I will definitely be better than anyone else. Even if I put in 10-fold, 100-fold, or even 10,000 times the effort, I will do it. Shiraishi took a sip of tea and shook his head. I wish you a dream come true. Shiraishi, do you think I can make it too? No, I'm lying, huh? Shiraishi glanced at the time and said, it's not early, I'm going to rest. Naruto, let's go. Okay, then I'll go first, see you tomorrow. A dark officer saw Shiraishi enter the room before leaving. Head towards the Hokage building.